The room is quiet in a way that feels heavy, like even the air is waiting for something to go wrong. Ricky Davis Jr. sits with his phone resting in his hand, staring at the screen longer than necessary. He already knows this isn't a normal call. Nobody pauses this long before answering good news. When he finally picks up, the voice on the other end doesn't rush. It never does when the truth is complicated. Medical results, follow-ups, words that sound organized but land like weight. Ricky doesn't interrupt. He just listens. There's a version of him that wants to react, to ask questions, to fight for clearer answers. But instead he stays still. Like stillness is the only thing keeping everything from spilling over. When the call ends, the silence doesn't leave with it. It stays. Outside that moment, life continues doing what it always does. Demands don't pause. Responsibilities don't soften. And whatever is happening inside his body becomes just one more thing added to a list already too long to hold comfortably. But Ricky doesn't collapse into it. He learns it, processes it, stores it, and then stands up like the day still expects something from him. Because it does, and it always will.
Good. But today we can chat about the results of everything. So I will post a report through my chart by end of day today. So everything that I'm about to go over, you'll have access to. I'll also route it to the referring doctors. So I'll kind of get it where it needs to go. You don't have to worry about showing up with a copy of it or anything like that.
Yes, sir.
Right. Before I jump into things, I always like to hear how people thought the evaluation went. Was there anything that stuck out that was fun, interesting, challenging? Any thoughts walking away?
I mean, it was a long experience. I think the Mrs. What's her name?
Was it Riley or Leanne?
Riley. Yeah, Miss Riley she was absolutely amazing. She's amazing staff. So I just appreciate that experience.
Yeah, good. I'm glad to hear that. I know you spend a lot of time in there with them doing some hard stuff, so it's good to hear that you had a good experience with them.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Awesome. We'll jump into things here. Overall, like most people, you had some areas of strengths and weaknesses that came up on testing. The majority of your cognitive profile was generally within normal limits, within the average range relative to age-matched peers. So you did well on measures of attention, working memory, verbal fluency, visual spatial skills, and then what we call kind of abstract reasoning. You did have a few isolated low scores that came up on measures of processing speed. So your overall speed of thinking was a little bit slower relative to age-matched peers. And then on tasks of learning and memory, you had some difficulty kind of learning information on the front end. But you were generally able to kind of benefit from those recognition cues. When we asked you, was this word on the list, yes or no? Was that kind of a part of the figures you previously saw, yes or no? That added structure kind of improved your performance. So I suspect that your cognitive difficulties that you were kind of sharing with me on a day-to-day basis and some of the inefficiencies that came up on testing are likely due to kind of a number of modifiable factors known to impact cognition. Any one of these things that I'm about to kind of list off here are kind of known to kind of give some folks trouble from a cognitive standpoint on a day-to-day basis. And when we start to kind of see a cluster of them, we become concerned that they're likely impacting folks' day-to-day kind of functioning. Things that kind of fall into that category for you are elevated symptoms of depression, anxiety, and then PTSD. Those questionnaires that you did fill up came up in the severe range. Daily chronic pain, I know we talked about it a little bit in my office. I don't think chronic pain is talked about enough. It's incredibly distracting. It makes it really hard to kind of learn and retain information. Having migraines, those visual floaters, double vision, blurred vision makes it hard to focus on things. The tinnitus, untreated sleep apnea, that fatigue that you're having, all those things make it much harder for your brain to kind of focus and retain information. And I'm hopeful that kind of with optimal treatment of those things, you could notice an improvement in your overall day-to-day functioning. So it's not something that I necessarily think is going to progressively get worse over time. I think there are some things to kind of look at, in those different areas. That does kind of take some work and some treatment planning and things like that. But hopefully with some improvement in those areas, you'll notice an improvement in your cognition as well.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you have any questions for me or any thoughts for me about any of that?
Yes, sir. Just trying to see what basis, like, so like for an example, like I don't know if you can tell, but I got all of this like different stuff that I have everywhere, all over.
Yeah.
Because if I don't, like I will forget, and it'll just slip my memory. So I'm just
Yeah.
trying to see where does that directly come from. And the same thing with me going to pay for gas and me forgetting to fill up my pump, or I can sit down my remote, or like kind of like maybe
Yeah.
put my money up and then I can't find it for a whole day or two. So I was
Yeah.
just trying to see like that progression of what that directly is.
Yeah, it's a good question. Like I said, there were some memory inefficiencies that came up on testing. So I definitely think that is kind of something that I noticed on testing as well. Based on things, I think some of those factors that I just mentioned really pull your brain's attention in other directions. So when you're kind of feeling distracted by the floaters in your eye, that contributes and kind of demands your brain attention. While the floaters are in your eye, you're kind of having some pain that's going on, and that pain starts to get distracting. With the untreated sleep apnea, you're feeling a little fatigued and groggy in the morning, and that's kind of impacting your brain's health. And then you put on some of the, those symptoms of the PTSD, the anxiety, the depression. You're hearing some ringing in your ear. All those things are kind of pulling and demanding your attention, and you're focused on kind of your own health and your own well-being, and the noise in your ear and the floaters and the pain and that sort of thing. And it kind of contributes to the having memory difficulties on a day-to-day basis, kind of forgetting to do certain things, forgetting about where certain items were placed and that sort of thing.
Yes, sir.
That really kind of creates that distraction, and that kind of forgetfulness starts to come up in those situations.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So I will send the report to Dr. Weinberg and kind of other folks that are kind of under your care. And hopefully, like I said, with treatment and some of these things, you'll notice an improvement in your cognition. And if not, we can always see you back in to do a reevaluation to see if anything's kind of changing over time.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Anything else I can do for you?
I think that'll be it for now. And then just just one more question. So like I know that I see the progression of it. Do you think it'll be the same as it is now in 2 years? Do you think it'll be worse or?
Yeah, I'm hopeful that if anything, it could get better. It's not something that I'm expecting will be progressively worse over time. I think with optimal treatment of some of these things, you'll actually notice an improvement in your overall cognition, your overall day-to-day functioning, your overall well-being. With that said, we have a really good baseline for you right now.
Yes, sir.
So see folks back in like a year or two to kind of track change over time. So if you feel like your mood's getting better, your sleep's getting better, the floaters, or the degree to which the vision difficulties can be taken care of, getting better, if all those things are getting better, but you feel like your cognition is worsening still, I think we can definitely have you back in, do a reevaluation, and kind of track any potential change over time.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I mean, yes, sir. I appreciate you so much.
Yeah, for sure. And I know the best questions always come after we hang up the call. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to my office. I'm happy to help out any way that I can.
Yes, doctor, and I really appreciate you again.
Yeah, my pleasure. Give me a call if you need anything, okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yep, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Okay. Feel like it's good and bad news there. I think the overall good news is they don't see, and they may not see, early signs of dementia, because that was one of my main concerns when it comes to like everything that's going on right now. And it is challenging trying to maintain all of this because it's unusual. Like it'd be different if I just had one or two, you know what I'm saying, health issues. But by having all of this combined is challenging, especially with the back and then the spine disease and then everything that they said and then the narcolepsy and then vertigo. I can just keep going. slipped this in my neck. It's a lot of things that do go on, and it does affect me mentally, physically, spiritually. That's why I think mental health is very important. You know what I mean? And a lot of the times I think it's a misconception, because when we hear mental health, a lot of people hear like a yucky feeling, or sometimes people will try to use mental health and try to label you as something bad or negative. Oh, they got mental health issues. Oh, they got mental health issues. So people use it as a weapon besides utilizing it as a tool. And I just want to say, like, if you are going through stuff, you got to keep going, and you got to be the one to actually fight too. And everybody's not going to understand. Like, everybody ain't going to understand when they see me with my cane. They see me with my cane like, oh, what he need a cane for? They don't know I got a torn ligament in my left foot, a torn ligament in my left ankle, my left knee deteriorating, spine disease, sciatica, slip disc within my back, slip disc in my neck. I mean, I can just keep going. You know what I mean? And then sometimes I be feeling good because I be trying to, like, I think I let my pride get in the way. So I'd be like, man, you know what? I ain't about to have this cane because I don't want people to see me walking with a cane. Because what y'all don't understand is I hate it. I absolutely hate it. And having to be able to be, how old am I? I'm 39 years old. And having to be able to actually walk with a cane. And then I see elderly people that's not even on a cane.
You have a text message.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, it messes with me, especially when everything that I am trying to build when it comes to my company, and me trying to be a servant, and me trying to be able to help people in need in different ways. And I feel like all of them ways that I'm trying to help people, I'm being challenged. And it has beat me. I have lost battles before. When it comes to depression, mental health, all the different things that's constantly going on. You know? And then them diagnosed me with PTSD, anxiety, depression, you know, especially over these 2 years what have happened. And then not only just in my personal life, my financial life, people around me. You know what I'm saying? My best friend unalived itself. You know, I got brothers that's in jail, brothers that has been unalived. I was trying to get emotional, but it's challenging. And not being able to know what people are going through. And I think it's important to check on your people. Like, I don't know why he decided to drive somewhere and unalive himself. And I think it's important for us as men to be able to have that mental health awareness, and to have that awareness, period. You know? Kind of one side, I was supposed to be talking about my health and, you know, trying to just document some of the experiences that I am going through, and not documenting my experiences for people to feel sorry, or for people to it's a word I'm looking for. I can't think of it. But I'm doing it because this may not be for you. This may be for somebody that's actually going through what I'm going through, or even worse. The people that's dealing with disabilities, the people that's dealing with mental health challenges, the people that's dealing with insecurities or emotional or physical issues or loss of a loved one. There's so many different things who this is for. And I know everybody don't care about your story, you know? And as long as my story get across to the person that it need to be, if you're the person that just swipe past it, then that's okay, that's cool. I don't want to get too much off the subject, so I am going to end it here. But one thing that I will say is, I may lose battles, but I will never lose the war. I may even be judged, and you may be even the one judging me. You. But it's okay, because the truth would always come out. And I stand on truth. Always. And if you are facing any type of obstacle, just know that you have the power to overcome it. Don't let what you're currently facing defeat you. And sometimes it get to me. I got to get on here. I got to be positive. I got to get on here, try to encourage people, try to motivate people. Everything that I'm going through, I'm still trying to be able to push my books as an author. I feel like there's a lot of value even in the books that I make. But as I'm still trying to do that, you know, my personal life and everything, my medical health and everything is falling apart. You know, even with my work injury, and when that happened, I was so happy before then because I just paid off my child support. I was able to start trying to invest in my business. I was excited, and then that injury happened, and it just like, wow, you know. And then when I was in the hospital for my back and spine surgery, then that's when they found like, hey, well, I mean, sorry to inform you, but you got heart disease. You got 2 blood clots in your heart. You got 2 blood clots in your arm. You stop breathing 18 times an hour. You have sleep apnea. You have narcolepsy. You have vertigo. You have spine disease. You got a slip disc in your neck. You got multiple slip discs in your spine after your surgery. You got sciatica. Yeah, you got arthritis. You got fibromyalgia. I don't even know if I said it right. You losing mobility. Your left knee deteriorating from the inside out. You got a torn ligament in your left foot. You got a torn ligament in your left ankle. Arthritis in your ankle. Arthritis in both of your feet. Of course, anxiety. They say depression, PTSD, insomnia. I think I might have said the hip issues and back issues and all of that. So, and I could be forgetting something. But like them are the currently things that I'm going with. And I'm 39 years old and I got to be able to walk with a cane. And sometimes I be trying to be so tough, like, nah, I ain't walking with my cane. And then when I don't do it, I only can get so long, because after so long, I start to lose balance. You know what I mean? Or so long, I start to, you know, maybe even get lightheaded, because when I'm outside, I got to wear I don't have them. I got to wear my other prescription glasses, because even right now, this light is affecting me. But I didn't want to, I was trying to talk to the doctor without, you know, having them on inside the house. But I usually wear them all the time because I'm sensitive to light, because a few years ago, I caught meningitis, and that almost took me out. I was in the ICU. It could have been really bad. And then after my meningitis, which is so funny. They found the lump on my breast. So once they found the lump on my breast, one of the doctors told me, well, it's possible that you have breast cancer. And then I'm like, well, breast cancer, I'm a man. You know what I'm saying? Like, how can I get breast cancer, And that tore me up. I had to get a bunch of different biopsies. I had to do a bunch of different tests, Then come to find out it wasn't breast cancer. It was abscess or something like that. So I had to do surgery. They had to cut my breast open and not too big, but and dig it out, take it out, cut it out. But it's been a lot of different experiences that I've been, going through. I mean, me being a full-time dad and me not really want to fully fail my children. You know what I'm saying? Especially the two that I have custody over, and then my oldest son. In the last 2 years, I am not the same. I used to be like the hawk. I mean, couldn't nobody outwork me. I can outwork 10 people easily. Even if they was working together, they still couldn't beat me. I'm serious. Like, I was, man. And it ain't the same no more. I can't run. I used to be able to run. You know what I mean? And I can't move and do the same normal routine that I do. And then honestly, to be 100% real, for the last 2 years, I've been like low key MIA. Like, I don't want to be around people. You know what I mean? Then I'm dealing with all of this. And then on top of that, you know what I mean? I lost my finances because of my job. And then I was funding my business with my job just to get my business up and running and started. So when I lost that income, it took everything away. I mean, I lost bank accounts, my office downtown. I mean, I could just keep going. Phone services, tax liens. Then my child support went from 0 because I paid it off on my last check. It went from 0 to $10,000 I'm behind. Now you almost $7,000-8,000 behind on property taxes and blah, 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 blah. I can keep going, And then always trying to keep that smile on my face like nothing is going on. That's why I've always been the type of individual to express what I'm going through. I never wanted to come on here and act like I got everything together. I wanted to bring my struggle, my depression, my stuff that I go through as a man, in front of the light. You know what I mean? Because not for sympathy. That's the word that I was looking for earlier, is sympathy. I don't want sympathy. That's not what I'm here for. But I think it's important to be able to tell my story for somebody else. And this is not even the full story. This is just, it's kind of really low key everywhere. And I don't even know really where to start. But just know, whatever obstacle that you are facing, you can definitely defeat it. And I see how people look at me on Facebook. I see how people look at me in person. And they don't know that I have discernment. And all I can do is just sit and smile. It's a lot of people that's quick to judge. Even religious folks, business folks, pastors. And I can just keep going. And I do know that God is real. And I do know that the Most High would never forsake me. And I know that I got to keep going. It's challenging. Some days I'm angry. Some days I'm sad. Some days I'm depressed. Some days I'm mad. But I got to take all of that, bottle it in, and go to work. I can't allow my emotions to control me. I got to control my emotions. So even this whole thing that I'm going through, it's painful, it's challenging, especially when you go through it alone. I'm not saying that I don't have support, like my mom, my sister, they out of town, South Carolina. And it's a few other people that support me. And just know that you have what it takes. You have what it takes. And my only question is, they say that God prepared the table in front of your enemies. My whole life, I've been trying to get everybody to sit at my table. And now I'm realizing that's why you don't have a table. Because the people that I was trying to get to sit at my table, relatives, family members, friends, strangers, people that I know, they should have never had access to the table. So now, I hate that it gotta be you, but maybe I don't, because you may secretly hate me or have a negative outlook, or could be judgmental, or could be toxic, or could be a negative trait. Maybe I was saved. So I guess now God will present my table in front of you. The elevator is not just a word, it's a lifestyle.
Morning doesn't arrive gently in Rickey Davis Jr.'s world. It arrives already late, already demanding. His phone lights up before his mind fully catches up. Messages, deadlines, ideas waiting to become real. Problems waiting to become money. Life waiting to be managed. There is no version of his life where he gets to fully step away. He moves through it anyway. Business decisions stack up like unfinished conversations. Every direction pulls him somewhere different, but none of them pause long enough to wait for certainty. Most people would call it overwhelming. He calls it normal, not because it's easy, but because it's familiar. Somewhere between responsibilities, there's also something heavier he carries quietly. Health concerns that don't announce themselves, but still sit in the background of every decision. Every step calculated without saying it out loud. But Rickey doesn't build his life around what slows him down. He builds it around what he refuses to let stop him. So he keeps going. Not fast, not perfect, just forward. And in his world, forward is still progress, even when it hurts.